Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 47. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group and on Instagram at Love After Lockup Lockdown. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we're covering Season 2, Episode 47. This is an episode of Life After Lockup called Risky Business. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
We have some exciting news to share with people, but I don't know if everyone knows, but I guess if you're true fans, you know, but Michael was arrested again. Shocking.
Yet again.
So to my calculations, he has been arrested about every year since the year he got out. At least once a year.
And they must not keep him, right? Because he's able to get arrested over and over and over again.
And just get out. I don't know, maybe Sarah's bailing him out. I have Maria. I don't know who the hell's bailing this dude out. The show.
Well, he got arrested in Miami, so my assumption would be more likely Maria than Sarah.
I think Maria should take care of her kids instead of bailing this POS out, but I don't know. We did have Sarah paying for his damn phone for like ever, and we're like, oh, maybe she still pays for his phone. Who knows?
I hope not.
So we actually were mentioned in Sarcasm's article, which was amazing. We follow them on Facebook, and they here and there jump into our Facebook group. I always give them credit if I share one of their stories. And this article was by Asa Hawks. So I don't know if this is the person who lurks around or controls their Facebook, but thank you so much. We are very, very happy that you did that for us. That is amazing. We went up 2,000 followers in our Facebook group to 82,000 in a couple days. So that is incredible.
That's fantastic.
Right. Yeah. So here's a little bit about the story. We're not going to read the whole thing because it's kind of long. So according to the police reports, somewhere around February 23rd, he stole multiple credit cards from a United States Postal Service vehicle.
Oh, shit.
Yes, and proceeded to use them. And where he got caught was he went into a Pizza Hut and used a woman's credit card because Pizza Hut alerted her to it or something like that. And she went in, talked to them, asked like what the dude looks like. They explained to her what he looked like, what he was wearing, black male with dreadlocks, wearing a light color sweater. And he also used the cards at a nearby Marathon gas station. So he was kind of being like tracked down, like who the hell's using my cards? And that is what like actually got him caught. It was like a brief foot pursuit, and then finally he was apprehended. And then he was taken into custody, and he had a bunch of shit on him. I'm a little surprised to know that you can't have marijuana on you apparently in Miami.
I don't think in the whole state of Florida. I could be wrong, but I think that is not a legal state.
I guess not, because part of what his charges were is possession of cannabis under 20 grams, which is a misdemeanor, resisting an officer without violence, misdemeanor, fraudulent use of a credit card under $100, misdemeanor, and dealing in stolen property, which is a felony. So he did get a felony, and I'm going to take a wild guess that because of his history, he's going to go back to jail for probably a long time after he actually get sentenced. But who knows? Because he just keeps getting out, like you said.
He had child endangerment and he got let out. So I don't have much faith that he's going to be kept in this time. We'll hear about him again this year, I'm sure.
He really needs to be like, I don't know. He is just he looks like shit, by the way. If anyone goes in our Facebook group and they want to see his pictures or just Google it, he looks like shit. He is going down a very bad path. There is no way that the only thing this dude is on is cannabis. No way. Let's
No.
just put it that way. I think there's a video of him getting busted with like a crack pipe or something like that. Someone posted that. Someone said he was literally live on YouTube or something smoking crack with someone. I don't know. That's the
Wow.
speculation. Yeah, that's stuff I read. But I'm gonna count. There's a photo of his mugshots in this article. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mugshots, and you can literally. It's kind of like Faces of Meth. So they do the
Mhm.
the progression, and he looks horrible. And I'm like, man, like at least Megan escaped this dude. But we know that for some reason Sarah just kept wanting to try to go back, but I hope that all stopped after all this. This is just like too much.
I hope so. I hope that she's not I mean, if not for her sake, for the girls. You can't force somebody who's not a good person to be a good person, no matter how much you want that for them or for your children. Like, at some point, you gotta cut your losses and go.
One thing we know for sure is she is definitely right to not have wanted the girls to go with this guy. I mean, I know it's their dad and everything, but he clearly would not have kept them in safe situations. Not at all.
He's their dad only in as far as he donated the sperm. He hasn't done anything for the girls to be a father to them.
Yeah, exactly. That is hands down the truth.
Well, this week we are starting with no other than Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And Megan is back and she's writing lyrics to a song and singing them. She says music is something that her and Michael want to do together.
I got a question about that. Did we ever hear Michael sing or do anything musical? I know it was mentioned that he wanted a musical career or to be a rapper, and I think there was like a keyboard at one point, but we never actually saw or heard him sing or rap, right? On any
I
episode?
don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know, maybe he just like had hopes and dreams, but like I don't know if this dude even had any talent. I don't. Hey, we never. You would think that they would have been like, oh, let's show that Megan and Michael like doing a song together or something. We never saw anything like that. So I don't know where the hell this is coming from. I'm thinking this was just like a bullshit conversation that they had over text while he was in prison.
Probably something along those lines, yeah. So she says she hasn't heard from him in about 3 weeks and she's thinking the worst possible scenario. But her worst possible scenario is that he went back to jail. I can think of far worse things. And if he hasn't called you in 3 weeks, why do these women hang on like this? I just don't understand.
Especially to this guy. I mean, this is crazy. I do not know what kind of mental illness this girl has, but she's got something. Worried he's in jail. Shouldn't that be like your number one red flag? Like, hey, haven't heard from this person in 3 weeks. They might be in jail. Come on. What's
Get
your
online
brain?
and look. Like, it's not
Yeah.
that hard. Do an inmate search.
Anything. Yeah. It's all public records. Like you can access all that. It is readily available to the public. So Megan, in her infinite wisdom, decides that she's just going to call Michael's mom, Carolyn, and she was scared to call her. And that is because her and Carolyn did not get off on the right foot and they did not leave on a good note at all the last we saw.
Well, Megan has blatantly ignored what his mom has told her. She says, his mom said, "You're the problem." And Megan's like, "They fight. Him and Sarah fight." Yes, but you are the reason that they fight. You're the problem. And to have this much, what? Like, I can't even think of the word, but to call his mom is crazy work.
It's like I said, something's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with her, but like this is like stalker shit. It really is. I mean, it's a little like I have never in my life thought, well, let me call their mom. Like that's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, you got ghosted. Move on.
Clearly, if someone's not contacting you for 3 weeks and I don't, well, here, okay. I can understand why she would be slightly confused though, because he did just go to her state to see her and spend time with her. So I understand that he may have confused her a little bit, but ghosting is ghosting.
They didn't show that they ended it on like on good terms.
That's true. That's true. Because it ended in the rock controversy.
Right. And his mom tells her that she doesn't know where he is and she isn't trying to keep up with him. I believe her. I believe she's just kind of given up on trying to get him to maybe not do the right thing, but keeping tabs on him.
I just think this dude is just running all around like escaping reality and how whatever way he possibly can. And he probably does not keep in close contact with his mom and tell her where he's at every second. I mean, he may talk to Day Day more. Who the hell knows? But like I don't think his main concern is telling his mom where he is. You'd think she'd be more concerned because of his history, but they could be sick of his bullshit at this point.
I'm sick of his bullshit and I'm not even around it.
I know I am so sick of his bullshit. I'm like, what? This guy just has gotten progressively worse as we have covered this show. Worse, worse, and worse. And even when he tries to make himself look like he's not bad, he makes himself look worse.
He can't help it. Megan says that she doesn't trust what his mom says. Uh, who the fuck are you to say that?
Yeah. She's like when Michael got out of prison, she doesn't know why Carolyn didn't tell her he was married. Okay, I agree Carolyn should have told her, but her mentality and the way that she was thinking about it, and that's fine because some people would be this way, is that it wasn't her business. She didn't want to get in her son's business and she didn't think it was her place to tell his mistress that he was married, I guess. I mean, some people would be that way. I wouldn't.
I don't know if I mean, I would tell, but that's me. And I'm not raising a son like Michael. If I was, that would be probably a much different story.
Mhm. I still would not protect him.
No, I don't know. Megan says she put it all out there for him and she has to figure out what's going on. You don't. Just walk away. This is your opening. Walk away.
She says I'm not a quitter and I'm like this is not a game. What do you mean you're not a quitter? What?
Not a
You're not a
quitter.
quitter in the stalking game? Like what are you not a quitter in?
So then they switch over to Sarah and she's making coffee and Aviana comes in to show her the drawing that she made.
This is a smart little girl and seems to be like a happy little girl. And I think that, I mean, she's so polite and she just goes she's so like eloquent and just like telling her, look what I drew. Wow, look what I drew. And Sarah's holding the baby. And then Sarah's telling her, well, you need to add birds and you need to add, I think she said like flowers or sunshine or something like that. And Aviana's like, oh, you're right. And she runs and she's going to add it picture and I thought that was so cute. I'm like, wow, like, yeah, I wouldn't want this kid ruined by that douchebag either.
Right. She's such a sweet girl.
Yeah.
But Sarah says that her and Michael are toxic and they clearly weren't on the same page for a very long time. Clearly.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with this statement from her, but she says she and Michael are the perfect people for each other and also the worst people for each other. I kind of get that a little bit. I get where she's coming from with that a little. How do you feel about that statement?
They're they're both toxic. Like it's not obviously I like Sarah more than I like Michael. She needs to let this go. She needs to have more respect for herself and for her kids and say, it doesn't matter that he is their biological father. He is a piece of shit, and I have to protect those girls. That's her job, is to protect them, not to make him be a father.
She still, you can clearly tell that she still is probably in love with him, and I get it, but it takes a little while to get over all of that. I mean, she's been put through the ringer by this guy. I understand, but at a certain point, you just need to go, no matter what I do, this is never, ever going to work as far as her relationship with Michael. So concentrate on just your kids, and that's it. I mean, or maybe find eventually a better person for you, someone where they're the perfect person for you all the time, and they're not, you're never the worst people for each other.
Well, I don't think you always have always and never, but
No.
I see what you're saying, definitely.
Yeah.
The producer says, you got in a big fight with him last night and now you're texting him? And she's like, oh, we always fight. It's our thing. That's not a thing to have. That's not a relation. That's just not a thing. Walk away. Like, if you're always fighting with somebody and that's your quote unquote thing, walk away.
It's very easy for that to become how your life just is with the person that is
Right.
all you do is fight. It's just all you know. And every situation is so amped up and like ready to blow. You know what I mean? Even simple stuff. I understand these two just need to never be together. And we know they're not, but yeah, no, never a good thing where every single second of your life is just you're at each other's throats and fighting. Now, she says that they need to figure out how to co parent and they need to go to therapy. I don't think that you can rationalize with Michael to the point where you would be able to co parent. That's just never going to be a thing.
She says that counseling is really the last ditch effort to work it out. It can't be worked out.
No.
Like, that's not going to happen. He doesn't care about you beyond what you can do for him. And he shows you that repeatedly. What can Sarah do for Michael? How can Sarah's children serve Michael?
There's also like a big difference in Sarah's intellectual ability versus Michael's, which is, I think, that's where a big mismatch is and why they fight so much. Michael's a fucking dumbass, I'm sorry, and Sarah seems like a relatively intelligent woman. I think it's hard to argue with someone who is Michael level dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you rationalize with a Michael and have anything make any sense? You cannot have an argument with the person like that. He literally most of the time makes no sense. He talks in circles and makes no sense. And then we see Michael talking to Maria. Oh, Maria, that's another one. And he's telling her that Sarah and him are talking about therapy. And you just see this look on Maria's face. And I'm like, oh my God. Also, I shared her arrest photo in the group. Okay, this woman looks like she's in her 40s when they close up on her, and she's only in her like low 30s.
Hmm. Maybe she had a rough life.
I don't know. She had a rough something, but I seriously thought that this was like a cougar and she was so much older than Michael.
She
And
could
she's
have
not.
had a history with drugs too. That
Maybe.
ages
I think that
people.
she does. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Mm.
Uh, Maria says the girls shouldn't choose between mommy and daddy because they aren't together and they won't ever be together. I think you need to calm down. Like, why are you so insecure about this?
She is so insecure. It's yeah. I can't stand her. So Michael wants it all to be a civil agreement, but he knows that ultimately it's going to come down to court, as it should, in my opinion.
But he's not going to get anywhere. I don't know why he thinks, as a convicted felon, that the court is going to look highly upon him, particularly since he's not there to do anything. He's not financially supporting the girls. He's not there to visit them. He's made zero effort. Well, what? He showed up. She went there right after Rain was born, and now he's finally there. But who paid for that trip? Because it wasn't him. He
Mhm.
doesn't have a job.
And also, he doesn't even live in the same state. And he
Right.
can. He absolutely could. None of this would impress a judge. None of it, especially not in New York State.
He says he's tired of it and he's about to explode. For what?
Yeah. Maria says this was crazy. This pissed me off. Maria says that she knows how Sarah feels, but she doesn't trust her intentions because she's basically saying that she, like, woman to woman, she knows how Sarah feels. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I know how she's thinking because I'm a
Yeah.
woman too.
She says that if she sees anything coming from Sarah, she's going to confront her. Smart move, dumbass.
Yeah.
Next up, Lacey, John, and Shane. And Lacey said she's tired of going through so much mess with relationships. I can't imagine how you got in this situation, Lacey.
So you can tell we're nearing the end of this season because all of these people are looking like pieces of shit. This was a rough episode. She's she's driving. She says she's nervous. She's sick and tired of, like you said, going through this mess with men, and she's now questioning her marriage. Where do we think she's driving, folks? Where's she going?
We could only guess. She says part of her wants to work things out with Shane, and the other part is like, fuck you.
Yeah. She says that when she found out that Chon went to jail this time, she thought he'd be gone forever.
And you can tell because she was not, even after she married Shane, she was still keeping him kind of at arm's length
Yep.
because it- she still had John as an option. But when she thought he was gone, she was like, okay, I guess I'll just take Sean as a Shane as a consolation prize.
Crazy. And she's just going to do this with these two and just string both of them along. And they keep just both falling for it. And it's nuts. So Lacey finally shows up to see John. And surprise, surprise, they hug and they're being touchy feely.
She says Shane is at work, so she called John and found out he was out in a recovery program.
Yeah, she said she thought he was pranking her when he told her that he was out. Prank, I'm at a recovery center for drugs.
So weird. Joke's on you.
Oh my god. I can't stand this woman. All right. So I guess from what I gathered, they're letting him kind of work at the recovery center and he's installing their water heater.
No, I don't think so. I think he's at a customer's house. I think he is
Okay.
at a customer's house and he's fixing their water heater,
Okay.
and then they go sit on these people's fucking couch.
Okay, I was very confused. All right, so it was a customer's house because I'm like, why are they then now in the house? They're freaking cuddling. Damn couch. So it's random
Okay,
person's couch.
so either this was legitimately a customer's house or it was like some Airbnb that the show rented so they could make it look like he was fixing a water heater and then they could go make out on the couch. Why would you go in somebody else's house and be like, this is fine, we're gonna be like all in each other's faces on your couch?
They would have had permission to also record in this person's house.
What if that person found out that they recorded when they saw it on TV?
They didn't know. They like burn the couch. So he says that Lacey marrying Shane was a mistake. That is not your decision to make, sir. It is not your decision to make. I know know that's how you feel, but they're, like I said, sitting down on this random person's couch, just basically freaking cuddling. She's got her legs on him and everything. And then, of course, she tells him that Shane cheated on her because she has to validate that now she is sitting there cheating on Shane.
But he says Shane is an immature young punk and he's not a grown man. He says he invited her back to see him so she can see what she's missing out on by not being with him. What the fuck?
Yeah, he says that he's walking all over her and that like he needs to work in this and that. We know that Shane has a job. Last we
Right.
checked in with them, he had a job. So I don't know why she's not just like, hey, like Shane does work, but we're trying to get attention from John now, so apparently that's not important. She says
Shane's a
that
piece of
like,
shit. Well,
yeah,
she's
Shane's a
working
piece
on
of shit.
John.
Yep, yep. So Shane's garbage right now. The person that she was going to have a freaking baby with is now a piece of trash. Okay.
They do have a baby together.
Yeah, I know. And then she says that it's not his, by the way.
Room.
Where have we heard this before? So now she says that him being locked up this time put things into perspective with her and for her, and that she tells him that she does realize that she did love him and that she doesn't want to lose him. We had speculated that he looked like shit when he first walked out of the jail, and
Mm-hmm.
she thought that Shane was better looking. And now that John is all healthy and shaven, hair nice, muscles glistening, now all of a sudden John's better.
Yeah, it's just who she's more attracted to. And I've said
Mhm.
this before and I'll say it again. Lacey thinks that sex and love are the same thing. Attraction, love, sex, all of it. They're all the exact same thing. John tells her that he loves her and he's not going back to jail. He says he's going to try to do everything right and he doesn't want to lose her.
Mhm. Lacey says that she thought she knew who Shane was and who the man was that she was marrying. She barely fucking knew this kid, barely knew him when she married him. Oh, this woman is fucking batshit crazy.
She says that even though John has a drug problem, he's never cheated on her.
That she knows of, but
That's an excellent point.
mhm. So she says, that like after seeing John, she realizes that she just made a mistake and she wants to be with him. Exactly. Right there. You said it. Seeing John, now
Mm-hmm.
you've made a mistake.
And then they proceed to make out in someone else's house. She said the only thing that stood in the way of their relationship is drugs, and John looks really good because that's what matters.
Yeah. Sober John is the John she wants to be with. He was sober when he walked out of jail. So he started using drugs because you're playing with him. Because he got stressed out. So Lacey says that tells John that she's going to be upset with something that she did. And he was like thinking, baby, like you're pregnant. He thought she was
Right.
pregnant.
She tells him that if she could go back in time and change things, she would. And he says, well, let's change that. Next up, Clint and Tracy, and the producer knocks on the front door, walks in, and yells for Clint and Tracy. He asks Clint if Tracy's there, and Clint says no.
This is really very depressing right now with Clint and Tracy. And we know what happens, and it's terrible. It just feels weird when you see it. So obviously, Clint is there. Tracy is not. The last time he heard from her was yesterday morning.
Yeah, he said everything was great and they had awesome sex. That was not necessary to know, but
No, I thought it was like, yeah, could have done without that. He fell asleep and then she took the car and the dog and ghosts him. Also, she has $5,000 on the line of Clint's money. Where have we seen her do this before? And didn't mom warn him?
yeah, but like he's talking about how he's out the 5K, but what about your car, your dog, your wife? Like your money can be you can earn money, you can get money back, but your car's gone, your wife's gone. She took your fucking dog.
Yeah. Yeah, and to take the dog and not know where the hell she's gonna be and gonna go with this dog, live in the car, I don't know, on the streets.
Well, take what if she takes the dog into a drug house and he gets exposed to it? Like
Yeah, I was immediately like worried about the dog too.
I'm all stressed about the dog.
Poor baby. Yeah, I was immediately like, what about the dog? I didn't care about the $5,000 because it's not my $5,000, but I was
Yep.
very concerned about the dog.
But he bonded her out a week ago and says they fought most of that time. He says the fighting is because he wants her to go to rehab and she doesn't want to go. Why wouldn't you
Yeah,
make this a condition on him bonding her out? I'll bond you out if you go to rehab.
but even that wouldn't have mattered. She had to want to kick her habit, and she clearly does not. Whatever she said, she lied, because I believe that she did probably tell him that she was going to get help. I don't think she didn't tell him. I don't know. We don't have verification of that, but there had to be a conversation of her saying she would.
I mean, even if she didn't say that, he would just believe whatever she tells him. Like he blindly believes everything. So if she never said it, he could have just wanted it enough to be like, "Oh, you will. You'll decide to do it." And she could be like, "I don't know. I don't know." Or she could have been straight out no, and he thinks, "I'll change your mind."
Yeah, that's probably plausible, where he just thought that he would just be able to talk her into it, or force her or whatever. You cannot force anyone into rehab. That is not legal. Just like you can't force someone into mental health care. You can't, it's not legal. You can't. So he doesn't know when I don't know how he doesn't know when her court day is. He said he doesn't know when her court day is. You're paying $5,000. You don't know when her court date is, but they need to be able to tell the judge that she's going to go to rehab. I'm never going to see this woman again. This isn't not going to get this chance.
She's definitely not going to rehab. She finally calls him and tells him that she hates him. And he says, "I love you." And she says, "No, you don't." And he says, "I know." What the fuck was that? What do you mean, I know? That was the strangest conversation.
She says that he is pushing her away, and we know why she's saying this is because she doesn't want the help and he's trying to push it on her. I guess when you're this far into drugs and someone's trying to force you to get help, and it's scary to you, it's scary to detox. I guess that would be considered her considering he's pushing her away.
She tells him he's a liar and he's just trying to get her to come home. He tells her that he wants her to want the help, and she says she has to go.
Yeah, she's just like, goodbye.
You're not going to convince her to want the help. Like, she has to come to you for that.
Mhm. So he says at this point in Tracy's life, she just does not want to change. Correct. I just think he needed to wake up before bailing her out. Honestly, her best place to be would probably have been still in jail at that point. It would have saved, maybe it would have saved her life.
He should have listened to his mom.
Yes.
The producer asks why she doesn't want to go to rehab, and he says she feels like she's being forced and she's so selfish. She's not selfish, she's sick.
No. Yeah. No, they're not being selfish. They're doing just as much damage to themselves, if not more, than they are to the people that love them and they love.
He says, "When will she start doing what it takes to stay out of prison? And nothing is going to change until she gets the help she needs." That's true. If she had gotten help, she may still be with us.
Yep.
Next up, Andrea and Lamar, and Andrea is on the phone and she says her life is so messed up and she doesn't want to fight in front of the kids. She asks the woman on the phone to come get them.
Yeah. And then we go over to Lamar, and Lamar says that Andrea is still mad, and he thinks that she's mad from the night before when they had the dinner and the argument.
Yeah, they're in there making breakfast and he walks in and he asks her if they're all good and she goes, "No." Why would you want to be like, why would you put effort into somebody like this?
She's just, she's all, I want to say she's got a mood disorder or something like that. I don't know. Something also is not right with Andrea. I mean, a lot of us have these problems and it's fine, but she needs something. So more than the Book of Mormon, this woman needs.
She needs something.
Yeah. So they make this breakfast together as a family, sit down to eat, and there's the kids eating with them. And Crazy Pants says, "I put poison in the eggs and bacon." And Lamar says, "You're gonna kill your whole family." And Nyla says, "We are all eating this, even your 7-year-old." Is this woman fucking out of her mind? Why would you say
Why would you say that? And to say something like that in front of your kids. And Nyla was, I mean, you could tell she was concerned. Like, did she fucking poison us? How scary is that as a child to wonder if your parent is going to do something like that to you? And how fucking batshit ass crazy do you have to be to say that to your children?
It was wild, and you could see she in her face didn't look right when she was saying it either. Something was she's spiraling, or something in her brain is not right at that moment.
Mm-hmm. She says she found something in his pocket that changes everything.
Yep. So Nyla asks how the date was last night, and Lamar says that I tried to make the whole date about your mom.
Andrea tells him she asked him to stop talking about her and then tells the kids that her friend Stephanie is coming to pick them up. I hate the way that she acts like he is talking poorly about her when he's just speaking about her in front of her.
Yeah, well, she needs complete control over Lamar and everyone, and if she doesn't want him talking about her even in any way at all, she's just going to make him stop because he doesn't have free will, right? It's just Andrea's world. Tennyson asks what the reason is that Stephanie's picking them up, and because she doesn't tell anybody anything, the kids are confused. First she's poisoning their breakfast, now they're leaving with Stephanie.
Right. She wants them to die on Stephanie's watch instead of hers.
Yeah, Stephanie murdered them. Like they'll be on like one of those shows.
Snapped.
Snapped. Oh, I could see Andrea on Snapped.
Yeah, Tennyson says that whatever happened, it got a rise out of Andrea, and right now she's trying to hold it in until they leave, and he feels bad for Lamar. I would too.
Yeah, Tennyson is. I don't know about how Nyla's feeling, but you can see that Tennyson is kind of on Lamar's side like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they do see their mom being crazy pants. These kids are witnessing this, and they're smart. They're smart kids. Even the 7-year-old is smart. They're very perceptive, and they're seeing, we're watching all this go down. So Andrea says he's definitely cheating on me, but we still don't know what the hell's in the pocket that validated this.
But she immediately starts cussing at him and screaming, and he's like, "What is your problem?"
Mm-hmm.
Next, we visit my good friend Cheryl and Josh, and Josh says things have been crazy between her and his mom, and he doesn't know if her and his mom can live together peacefully anymore. They never could.
Let's just say that I don't think Cheryl can live with anyone peacefully, not even herself.
Yeah.
She's a mess. So they're gonna look at this apartment together, or house, or some house, I guess. Looked like a
House,
house.
yeah.
And he shows up late apparently, and Cheryl says, well, why were you late?
Yeah, he was like, "I was at work, man. I don't know what you want me to do." And she's like, "You were 30 minutes late." And she says she doesn't understand why he doesn't take anything seriously. I would understand, like, I hate when people are late. It really upsets me. But he was working to afford to pay for said house.
I feel in my soul that Cheryl made an appointment that was within Josh's working hours, and she
Mhm.
didn't flying fuck that he wouldn't have been able to make it there in time, because she does this stuff to assert herself and make it so that Josh has to follow by her rules. I really do feel like he was just not late. He just couldn't be there at the time that Cheryl scheduled this because he was fucking working.
Right. She says they have 1 day to get out of his mom's house. Whose fucking fault is that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I wouldn't want this woman in my house either. So,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
mm-mm. So Cheryl says that Josh has turned into a jerk. Well, I wonder why, and I wonder where he fucking learned it from.
He says, "Are you just going to keep giving me attitude?" And she says, "Look how you talk to me. Why do I deserve that?" And he says, "Nothing has changed since the first time." And she says she left everything in her life to try to prove to him that she loves him, and all he does is complain. All he does is complain, because literally the only thing she does is complain.
She has started every argument. I know. Okay, well, let's just say that production shows what they want, but I'm gonna gather that it's probably accurate that Cheryl starts everything. And they've only ever showed Cheryl starting every fucking fight. But even simple things are just a fucking argument with this girl. Josh is like, when something happens and Cheryl gets stressed out, she turns into a lunatic. Any stress, though, even tiny stress, or like a little stress, and she's just a maniac.
She tells him that, of course, she's going to be pissed off. It's because of the way his mom treats her. Now, Cheryl's got no fucking sense, and she's an entitled bitch. And she's 100% in the wrong when it comes to both of these things.
Mm-hmm. His next concern is he's like, well, what if we're out in public and I just, whatever happens, and then you just freak out on me, and then the cops are called because we're fighting, I'm gonna go to jail. And
Right.
she's not even considering that you need to be careful. They're literally out in public in front of people's houses on a damn public street where people like are just existing, arguing and screaming at each other in front of a house that they were going to rent. Likely there's some sort of realtor or landlord inside watching this.
Yeah, they're not going to be renting that place for sure after
No.
this.
Nope.
Now, he asks her why she's acting lethargic, and she says she doesn't want to argue anymore. I don't think he knows what lethargic means. That was a very odd use of the word.
I think he just, yeah, I think he just used the wrong word because they were arguing. I mean, Josh has said some pretty stupid things, but I don't think he's that level. I don't think he's Michael level stupid. I think it's just an accident.
So he tells her he's leaving and she should go back to Michigan. That's right, Josh.
She definitely should. And he doesn't want to deal with this every day, all the ups and downs of Cheryl being a snapcase. Yeah,
I don't
I'm
blame
on his
him.
page. Nope.
He asks her why she's still there and says she's not staying for him because they're done. And he tells her he'd rather she just split already. He says he'll feel better when he knows she's out of Colorado.
Hmm. Yeah, when he said, "I'll feel much more comfortable when she's gone," that's like such a weird like statement. Like I get it though. Like the word comfortable spoke a lot. Like
She stresses him the fuck out.
yeah. Yeah, she's kind of scary though too. Like I wouldn't feel safe being with this person. She again throws it in his face that she waited a whole prison sentence for him, and she didn't, by the way. She was not there
Mm-mm.
for the whole prison sentence. She says that when you were in jail and you wanted money, I was good enough for you. And now I'm not. And it's because she had full fucking control of him while he was in there. And now that she doesn't, now she's pissed.
Absolutely. She says when he was released, he was good to her and told her that she was the only woman who has ever been there for him. Now, I don't think he said that because he repeatedly said, "You've been there for me over the past few years like nobody else has." He never said, "In my whole life."
Yeah, yep. And I don't know how 2 years translates to this dude being in jail for literally his whole life up until 32 or 34 years old, however old he is, because he has been in jail repeatedly since he was 17, I think he said.
She tells him he's controlling, and he says, "Then split, bitch." He is controlling. I know we've already gone over this, but he is. I have never seen anything out of Josh that's remotely controlling.
No, absolutely not. She is controlling. I'll say this, I'm never a fan of a woman or of a man calling a woman a bitch. Not even in this case. It bothers me, but okay, I'm gonna I guess in the heat of the moment he called her a bitch. She then calls him garbage and says, I hope you go back to jail.
She's such a piece of shit. She tells him to go to hell, and he says he probably will. She drives away. Where's her fucking kid? Where is her son this whole time? You know, his mom isn't watching him, so where is he?
Probably at Tina's. I think that she probably is who else would watch him? She doesn't know anyone.
Exactly. Where the fuck is this little boy?
Productions watching.
I don't
She
even
left them at
know.
like a McDonald's play place or like at one of those little daycare centers in the grocery store. I'll be back
Knowing
in an
her,
hour.
I'll be back in an hour, maybe. Next, we're on to Brittany and Marcelino, and Brittany asks the kids if they think that Marcelino will be excited. Then Gio runs in and says, "Daddy, Daddy." And in Brittany comes with a puppy. So, a baby, pregnant, financial issues, and they got a puppy. Like, this was
Yeah.
not a well thought through decision.
No, Giovanni's like, it's a husky and a lab. It was so cute. And she said that she brought a puppy home because she wanted to. And the way that she said that, though, something hit me with the way she said that. And I was just like, this feels like something like that she just has always wanted to do, but could never because she's been in jail most of her life. And now she can finally decide, I'm going to have a puppy and I'm going to bring it home. And puppies are dogs, very, very fucking expensive. Sometimes I run through my head how much my dogs cost me.
Well, they're not only expensive, but they take a tremendous amount of energy, and you've got so much else going on and so many other stressors. I mean, he doesn't look happy, and I don't think that surprising your significant other with a puppy at a time when stuff is already as stressful as it is a fair thing to do. It doesn't matter if she wanted a puppy. Come home, talk to Marcelino, say, "Hey, I really want a puppy," make that decision, and then move on. Don't yell at him and say, "You're not getting a job, you're not supporting us," what have you, and then come home with another large expense.
That did make sense. I thought about that. She was just asking him to get a job because she was worried about their finances, and now she's bringing home a tiny eating machine.
Mhm.
So, I mean, she says she felt like her family needed somebody to play with. I don't know. I mean, they can play with each other, their children.
Puppies are it's not it. I felt very strongly about this whole situation. He says it's funny because he just figured up his poker winnings and now the dog is going to take up all of that.
Yep, yep. And he says, someday I'm gonna come home with a leopard.
Right? She told him that the dog isn't that big of an expense, but pets absolutely are a big expense.
Tremendous, tremendous. He's been on a downswing with poker. He has mentioned this before. He keeps a little bit of it from Brittany. Brittany thinks he's bringing home a lot of money. Now, I was confused about that statement because Brittany was worried about money and wanted him to bring home more money by getting a job, and now he's saying that Brittany thinks he brings home a lot of money. So I don't know.
I don't know either. He tells her that he's going to go play, and she says she just got home, but he doesn't want to be late. So he takes off.
Mhm.
She asked him if he paid the bills or just pulled the money out for the bills, and he said he paid them.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't know how to tell her about all the money that he's losing, and he just wants to keep it to himself. That is absolutely not what he should be doing. Absolutely not. She should absolutely know about this. He's claims he's going to go play a game of poker, and she's just like, of all things he's upset about, it's the cost of a puppy.
It's a completely legitimate reason to be upset.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with him being upset about that. She says it's frustrating that he's making a big deal about nothing. It's frustrating watching you dismiss his very valid concerns and springing a puppy on an already stressed situation.
Yeah,
We're not all entitled to do whatever the fuck we want to do when we want to do it when it involves somebody else.
yeah, exactly.
Next up, Lacey, John, and Shane. And Lacey tells John that she has something to tell him, but she doesn't want him to be mad, but she knows he's going to find out eventually.
Ooh. Okay. I was really thinking baby too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that this was the point where she had gotten pregnant. So she says that John has always had a hold on her. We've heard this before, Lacey, okay? He says, "You're pregnant, aren't you?"
She says being around him gives her mixed emotions and he has a hold on her, but she's afraid to tell him what happened because she thinks he'll freak out. I think he's going to be like, that was stupid. But I mean, what is he really going to do? Ooh, Lacey, I don't want anything to do with you because you got this tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, you've done so much worse to him. I don't think the tattoo is going to be where he draws the line.
Like we said, you can always, like, you can't, like, tattoo over a baby, but you can tattoo over a tattoo. Like,
Right.
when we say she could put over the tattoo of Shane's name, a
A
whale,
whale, couple dolphins.
dolphins in a heart shape, a
Mm-hmm.
big a giant butterfly,
A rose. That's what they cover everything with. Just get a rose.
a big ass rose. She like points down, and I'm like trying to figure out like where is it? Is it on the like a lower abdomen area, like above her vagina? Like I don't want to know and I don't want to see it, and I'm sure I could find it on the internet, but I really want to know like how big this freaking name is that she's concerned.
Ask the 20,000 guys in the Facebook group. I'm sure they've watched and know exactly where it is. They could tell us if it's covered up with a heart-shaped dolphin.
I am absolutely going to ask this question.
So Lacey tells John she got Shane's name tattooed on her, and John laughs. Like, it was funny to me, his reaction. He was like, because it wasn't a like, this is funny. It was, oh my God, you're so fucking stupid laugh. That was what that was.
Yeah, he literally says that's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dumb as hell. And he's right, it is.
One thing about John is he's got this like nonchalantness about him, and he will just like say what he wants to say, and it's so funny the way that his cadence is like hysterical.
He is funny. She said it was a drunken night and she wasn't thinking clearly. And he calls Shane a punk country boy.
Yeah, he's like put a little punk ass dude's name on you. He's a country boy. I was cracking up. Oh my goodness. He is having a field day with this, and he's like, I think he's just relieved it's not a freaking baby.
Right. He was like, why would you let this guy come up in your house and run everything and convince you to get a tattoo and walk all over you?
I I don't think he's right about that. I just think that this is almost like I don't know. She's like his cougar and they're playing house. I don't think that Shane is taking advantage of Lacey in any way. I think that this is just what she promised him and he's just living it.
I don't think that he's intentionally taking advantage of her. Like, he's not using
Oh,
her. He's just a kid. He's just a kid who's living life. And I want to say the best way he knows how, but you don't go cheat on your wife and then not tell her and then you just don't do that. But
no.
John tells us that he can get over the tattoo, but he doesn't like that Shane has been living free for the past 6 months, mooching off of her, and he's out there working and he's still number one. Okay.
Yeah, Lacey's just like, well, babe, everybody makes mistakes. And I'm just like, okay, she mistakenly cheated on her fiance John and then got married. Okay, she's bitching about Shane cheating on her, but she fully cheated on John. John thought they were still together when he got out. At that point, she had already like been in a hotel room with Shane. She claims she didn't sleep with him, but she got on
Bullshit.
top of the dude. That is cheating. I'm sorry. That is cheating. She was cheating on John and she's bitching about Shane cheating on her. What?
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. He says if they want to get together and make it work, then they need to make some changes. Well, I would say so. First of all, Shane can't continue to live in the house.
Mhm. Yeah, he does say, he's like you're still making the mistake, and like he's still living in your house. And Lacey says, not for long. What are you gonna do here? You're freaking married to this guy. You're just gonna be like, oh, when one pisses you off, you're just gonna kick one out, move the other one in, and this is just gonna become a cycle. Like what? What, you can't just keep swapping out guys. What?
Can't she though? Because I mean, it appears that that's what she continues to do. And he asks her what the plan is and how much longer this is going to go on for. And she says, not much longer. I can promise you that. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, she says she just doesn't know where she and John stand, but she just doesn't want to lose him this time. I don't think she ever did, and I don't think she ever planned on it. I think she felt like she was going to keep John always at an arm's length. So just in case shit went down with Shane and she got bored or something happened, life happened, she could just always run back to John.
Absolutely. She says that she made the wrong decision marrying Shane. And then John hugs her and tells her they'll get it all figured out. I feel like he really, really does love her, and she just
Yeah.
continues to manipulate the shit out of him.
They have a long history. It is likely that John loves her in a more real way than Shane does.
Yes, and in a more real way than she loves him.
Yes.
Brief check in with Brittany and Marcelino, and Brittany says when she was 18, she had just gotten to jail and she was practicing tattooing, and she thought she was so cool.
Yeah. So I, I tried to write this down quickly and I didn't go back, but I think she said that she did it herself by sharpening a nail file. And then for the ink, she used like ink, water, and then shaved pencil lead, or was it just water and shaved pencil lead?
She used a sharpened staple, and then she
Oh,
used toothpaste, water, and a pencil lead to make that tattoo, which I was surprised that worked. I didn't realize you could do that.
she did like a poke and stick is what she did, and like you
Mm-hmm.
just slowly poke and stick it. It's like they do it in Hawaii, not like that, not with the staple.
Right.
Not like prison tattoo. Dude, she said that like it's not done, and like maybe at some point she'll get an actual tattoo gun to fix it.
And for anybody who tattoos, we do know it's a tattoo machine. Thank you.
It's not a gun.
Not a gun. Next up, Cheryl and Josh. And Cheryl is driving, and Josh is still at the house they were going to see. And he makes a call and he says he needs someone to bail him out. I thought that was interesting phrasing.
See, I didn't. Okay, I was getting really frustrated with this episode, and there were some parts I didn't go back on, and I thought that he said he wanted his mom to pick him up, but that's even better. And he
Yeah, he
said
asked her to
mom
bail him
was
out, but
probably freaking out.
probably, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But his mom pulls up and comes, she gets out of the car and comes to sit by him. And he tells her that he's pretty sure it's finally over between him and Cheryl. And his mom says, about time. Can you imagine the relief as a mother to be fucking rid of that woman for the remainder of your lifetime?
Yeah, she is fucking awful. He says, "Can't say I didn't try," and I think mom's like, "Well, you never should have in the first place."
Right? He said he feels like he's had enough. And none of the ups and downs, none of the arguing have changed. It's just the same thing.
Hmm. Yeah, he says that a weight is lifted off of his shoulders. I mean, to be making statements like this, like it it needed to end. Like he was
Yeah,
being tortured.
he really was. His mom says it's been a long time coming and she can't stand that bitch. And I feel like she has every right to say that after the shit Cheryl put her through. We know all of this is supposedly stems back from the husband and her buying the husband beer, and like this is so out of control.
It is not just it. This is an awful human being in every way. She has I can't even like pinpoint an actual personality that this woman has. Like, would you want to have a conversation with Cheryl? Like ever?
I wouldn't even want to be in the same place as Cheryl because she's going to be yelling and screaming at someone. She's going to be making someone's life miserable.
Yep, and getting upset about literally nothing all the time and just with that stink face.
Who has she been around? Let's think about this. Who has she been around that she has not made miserable? She makes her sister miserable. She makes her kids miserable. She makes her parents miserable. She makes Josh miserable. She makes Josh's mom miserable. And as far as we can tell, that's everybody she's interacted with to this point.
I think her clown friend likes her.
Oh, well, yeah. But he's gone. He's in a different state. So she doesn't even have her clown friend anymore.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy is in another state in
That's
another
right.
state. So mom's obviously she's super glad it's over. He says he's excited to go out and finally like be free.
Yeah, his mom says, you could go out and find so many girls. You don't have to be with a twig. And I feel like this was really low hanging fruit. Like, there are so many better insults she could sling at Cheryl than to body shame her. You know what I mean? She could be like, she's fucking psycho. That's true. You know what I mean? Just being like, she's skinny. Okay. You know what I mean?
It was, yeah, of all things, Cheryl is, yes, she's skinny, but that is by far not the worst quality of Cheryl in any way.
Exactly. Exactly.
Could have said a million things. You could have talked about her damn snaggletooth, about just anything. The fact that she is just a garbage human. So he does say that he does still feel for Cheryl, but now he wants to just do him and he wants to get his life together. Good. I like that he said that, but unfortunately he did not, and he is in jail.
I just think that we've said this before, that it seems like if he had been with somebody else, he could have had a fighting chance. If he had had his Marcelino, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. That's hands down. So I'm not going to say that Brittany and Marcelino had the healthiest relationship, but like Marcelino absolutely played a hand in Brittany staying on the right track. And Josh needed, like you said, he needed a Marcelino. He needed someone to show him a normal life and a path to a normal
Yes.
life.
So Josh's mom says that this is the best thing for both of them, and now she can find someone who can handle her. And she goes, don't forget, she was looking for a serial killer as a future husband, and he just doesn't fit the bill. He's just a bank robber and a car thief.
Okay, that was good then. That was far better than the twig.
Yes, exactly. Like, there's so many things you can go after her for.
The castle, she could hit her with the castle.
Being a terrible mother.
Insane asylum. Remember they were going to get married in an insane asylum.
Right, right. Next, we're back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And the therapist comes out and asks Sarah if Michael's arrived yet. And Sarah says no. So the
Mhm.
therapist says, we'll just give him a few more minutes.
Yeah, Michael's so fucking busy not working and not being a father to his children that he shows up 30 minutes late. He's not even in the state that he lives in. What could you possibly be fucking doing? You want to show that you have dedication to your children and you show up 30 minutes late to a conversation about your children.
Right. He's not only does he show up 30 minutes late, but he walks in and he goes, what's up, dog? What the fuck? This is the mother of your children. What are you even talking about?
Oh, I hate him so much.
You are not alone.
Why is his hand bandaged up? Did I miss something?
I don't know. Maybe he slammed it in a door. Maybe somebody hit it with a hammer because he annoyed them too much. He asks her how she's feeling, and she says, we should save that for therapy.
Huh? Yep. They're going to be seeing Dr. J, and she has been seeing Sarah since she was 15. So this is Sarah's therapist.
Right. Sarah says that this therapist knows all of the traumatic things that have happened in her life.
So the therapist says as we're kids, our first models of how to parent and how we learn how to parent is how we see our parents being towards each other.
Right. Sarah says what she really wants to get out of therapy and have with between her and Michael is better communication. And he says that he didn't understand when he was growing up why his father wasn't in his life, and that's not what he wants for his own girls. You can say anything, but you are not doing, you are not behaving, you are not giving them the things that you keep claiming you I want my girls, I want to see them, I want to be around them. Then do it, because you don't need to take them for several weeks. That's an absurd thing. Absurd. Rain is a tiny baby, and Aviana doesn't fucking know you.
Yeah, no court, at least where Sarah lives, is going to let this man take his children for weeks on end. It's not going to happen. He would either get every other weekend, or he would get one overnight every weekend. That's all that he would get. And Sarah would be the primary parent. I don't know where he's unemployed. He has no home of his own. He's with a random woman who also has children of her own. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. He's in Delulu land.
She's a felon too.
Oh, she is a felon. Yes, you're right. Sarah or Maria
Maria.
is a felon.
Mm-hmm.
Prostitution is one of her charges, by
Right.
the way. So a judge is gonna fucking love that.
Right.
I would love to be in that courtroom because I know how New York State is. Would love to be there. So Michael says that when he was a kid, he rebelled because of his absent dad. As you're saying this,
Right.
you have your children having an absent dad.
It's pathetic, honestly. We do find out that Sarah's mom died when she was 12, and she expresses fear over dying herself and what that would mean for the girls. Because if she dies, that would typically Michael would get custody. And can you imagine what those girls' lives would look like being raised by Michael and whoever he's with at the moment?
There is no way that they are going to just hand these girls. I know she's worried, but there's no way that they're just going to hand these girls off to the other parent just because he is the biological parent. That isn't how it works. They they're probably going to temporarily, they would stay with her mom, or not her mom because her mom's deceased, who whatever her closest family member is that has been closest to the kids, and then they would probably, if Michael decided to fight him in court. That's what would
Right.
happen.
That would make sense.
Hmm.
We do find out that Aviana's in therapy, and Sarah says that Aviana told her therapist that she's sad and that not seeing Michael makes her sad.
Hmm. Yeah, she said, like, how do you explain why your parent is around sometimes? It would be very, very hard to explain this to this little girl. The therapist brought out, well, Aviana's therapist brought out a pic of faces, and she asked Aviana to circle one, like how she's feeling, and she chose the sad face, and she said it's because her dad makes her sad. Now I know what Michael is thinking at this point. It's because Sarah told her to say that,
Mhm.
right? This small child.
Right. And after he accuses her of doing this, she says that she's never going to put ideas into the girl's head, nothing that's going to hurt them. She would never do anything to jeopardize their happiness. And I 100% believe her. But the problem is she wants them to have a relationship so bad that she's willing to push this and give him far more leeway than he should have.
It's so backward as to what is trying to get everyone to believe, is that Sarah is keeping them from him. Sarah is telling them bad things about it's
Mhm.
so that is everyone's hearing something completely different than this garbage that's coming out of Michael's mouth. And I I just I don't, like you said, there are cameras. There is producers. On this show, they set up scenarios, and if Sarah had said, I want to keep these kids away from Michael. Michael's a piece of shit. Your dad's a piece of shit. Those cameras would have wanted that to be on this show.
Absolutely. And it's disgusting because he claims he heard Sarah tell the girls that he didn't love them and he doesn't want to be there for them. And she's obviously upset by that. I think that he's completely full of shit. And I don't believe Sarah would ever, ever say anything even remotely like that to the girls.
And why would she? She's the one that's trying to get a working relationship
Right.
where he's helping her freaking parent. This can't stand him.
He tells the therapist that Sarah refused to let him take the girls. And the therapist says, well, what do you think you could do to change that? And he says, well, the only thing to do is change it legally. I don't know why he thinks he's so entitled to them. He just thinks like, oh, I got off, you got pregnant, therefore I have as many rights as you do. No, you don't.
It's probably fucking Maria blowing smoke up his ass. And we don't know anything about Maria. We know she has kids. I don't know if maybe Maria doesn't have full custody. Maybe the dad has. Well, I don't fucking know. But he's obviously hearing this shit from the other piece of shit in his life, Maria. Someone's telling him this shit. And it's wrong.
Sarah says she's made good decisions and she's made bad decisions, but she's confident in not letting him take the kids for a couple weeks like he asked. A couple of fucking weeks. Rain is an infant. How many times do I need to say this? That is a small baby.
Absolutely not. And not a baby that he has ever existed with. He's
Correct.
seen her what, twice? No. He doesn't even know how to take care of a baby, and he is not a mom where those instincts come naturally. Sometimes, sometimes. But yeah, oh, I don't know. I don't understand. Um, I still feel like, and I could be wrong, I still feel like he knows that eventually he's going to have to pay child support, and this is his way of trying to not have to.
That could be. That really could be. You never know with him.
Mhm.
Sarah tells him that she contacted a lawyer and tells him she filed a petition for temporary emergency custody. She says she went in, talked to the judge, and he granted her full custody. And Michael gets pissed. He's like, no, you didn't. Why would she lie, dumbass?
And this is a step in the wrong direction for Michael because this is likely the same judge, because it's probably the family court judge in her area, that is going to know that he granted this for her once, and then when they go back to fight and Michael's there, that judge is going to have a lot of fucking questions for this guy.
Right. Next, we briefly check in with Brittany and Marcelino, and Marcelino says another dog is bad timing, and less than 2 years ago, he was doing everything by himself.
hmm He says that Brittany isn't aware of his nonsense. This is real weird. I don't like that we don't know what happened here, but he shows up at, I think it's Tito's house,
No,
right?
it is not Tito's house.
No, I thought
No.
it was Tito's house.
Yeah, he says she doesn't really know about his losses because he doesn't tell her. And as long as he keeps the plate spinning, she doesn't really need to know. That's just lying. That's lying by omission. That's still a lie.
hmm
But his poker is not going so good, and he has lost several $1,000s, which equates to multiple mortgage payments.
Yep.
That's not something to keep from your significant other.
No, absolutely not.
And he says, desperate times call for desperate measures. And he pulls up to a house, knocks on the door. A woman answers. He goes inside. She offers him a beer and says, does your wife know you're here?
I want to know. And she had big boobies.
What are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
And we wrap this week up with Andrea and Lamar. And Lamar asks her what the problem is. And she says she feels like he doesn't want to be a part of the family.
Yeah. And then she says, I wish I never would have met you, which is strong words.
Right? She just
hmm
says any fucking thing that comes to her head.
Yep.
He says, where is your evidence? And she says, it shows by his actions.
Yeah. So she's like, well, what have you been doing in California? And like, I'm giving you the chance to be honest. She's trying to get him to tell her something that He doesn't know that she knows.
He doesn't have any idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells him that she's giving him one chance before she shows him something, and he flat out denies doing anything wrong. He has no idea what she's talking about.
Then she goes into this story, which I don't believe. She says that she couldn't find the debit card and she was searching all of his pockets for it. I don't believe for a second that she was looking for a debit card. She was searching all of his things because she wanted to find something.
Absolutely. She was, at least because she wanted to go through his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The debit card. Is it his debit card? Whose debit card are you looking for? And why wouldn't it be in his wallet?
Yep.
He tells her to just tell him what she's carrying on about. And she says she's going to show him, and then he's going to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we get another case of these people who want to throw back the prison sentence in their face. That drives me crazy. We talked about this over and over again.
She's the other one that does this repeatedly. I did this for you. I did that for you. She has a little bit of a hand up here because they did have a child together. So they're a little bit more connected. I mean, I don't know. It's just that doesn't make it okay to throw it in their face. Lamar was in jail for at least 18 years, and she was not with him for 18 years.
Right.
So, yeah.
She says she gave up 8 years of her life to him.
Well,
yeah, she made that decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she makes him look in the pocket of his jacket, and he pulls out condoms, and he's like, "Are you talking about these?" And he's super chill about it. Like, if he was using these condoms, don't you think he'd be like, "Oh, fuck"? But he's not. He's like, "This?"
Yeah, yep. So then she just starts to beat him up, and she's like hitting him, and she like the condoms go flying. She starts just beating the shit out of him, and like production's going flying, and like she is just like blowing through this room, beating him up, and she's yelling, "You fucked up my life." And I just these production's just trying to not get in her way.
She's ridiculous. She calls him a motherfucker, then proceeds to commit domestic violence that I personally would have liked to have seen her go to jail for.
They don't ever go to jail for hitting men on this show.
I don't think anybody goes to jail for anything on this show.
And it's on camera, and people are witnessing it, and it's like literally domestic violence, which is illegal everywhere, no matter whether you're a woman or a man.
Yeah, exactly. But he lets her hit him, and she's lucky that he's not the kind of guy who would hit back, because I just think if you hit somebody, you're opening yourself up to be hit back. I don't care who you are. Just don't fucking put your hands on other people. Who is your VIP for this week?
It was hard. I just went with the damn puppy because just everyone was awful.
They were all pretty awful, yeah. I chose Tennyson.
Good one.
And your POS?
God, it could have been everyone. I just went with Cheryl. I mean, I equally hate Michael, but I really want to get rid of this woman. She just needs to go.
I feel like they're done now. They have to be done because we're getting close to the finale. My POS was Andrea. Just fuck her all over the place this episode.
Yeah.
So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts, and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, "Aw, babe, now that's validation." We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.